Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Geraldine and I make videos all about Slip of Life, organization, planner videos. So if that's your type of jam, go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Geraldine Silva. So today is a really exciting video that I've been wanting to make for the longest time, and I finally got the chance to do it today. So today's video is all about the pros and cons of clinical settings when it comes to the speech world. I know there's not a lot of videos out there, not a lot of information, so I want to be that person that you can come to ask any questions. I've gotten a couple questions on Instagram before, so if you guys have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below or just send them to me on my Instagram. I don't really use my personal Instagram as much as I do my business Instagram. So if you guys don't know what my business Instagram is, if you guys don't know what my business Instagram, it's at Babe Manager. I'll leave the link for it in the comments, in the description below. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the pros and cons. We're gonna start off with the pros, start off with the cons first, and then we'll end on a good note. All the pros about working in a clinical setting versus a rehabilitation or the school settings. Alrighty, so let's start off with the cons. I have my journal right here full of notes that I'm going to be reading off of, so don't mind me if I'm just going off of this. So number one con is long authorizations. So when it comes to generally in the clinic setting, for speech, you're going to be doing about an hour, 50 minutes to 60 minutes of direct therapy. So when it comes to the clinic settings, the authorizations or the sessions usually run about 50 to 60 minutes. That's how long usually the therapy is for me. Sorry about that. So the authorizations take about 50 minutes to 60 minutes, just depending. The shortest I've seen it was about 30 minutes. But regular amount, depending on what clinic you're working with, for us it's about an hour. So it's really long sessions, and you kind of have to have enough material for the hour long, and it has to be within those 50 minutes for billable time. So that's the one con, is that you're just with the same client for a really long time. So if they're pretty problematic, you're dealing with them for quite a while. As far as like comparing to the schools, where it's sometimes like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, just depending on what the IEP is allowing them. I haven't worked too much in the schools, but like I said, I did my I did my license in a school when I did my field hours. So I have just like very limited knowledge when it comes to the schools, but I do know at least a little bit. But as far as the clinic goes, yeah, it's just a really long time, and yeah, we'll get into it. Number two bad thing about working in a clinic setting is that your cancellation rate is gonna be higher than it is gonna be. You get more cancellations in a clinic setting, meaning that you either get very little pay or no pay at all. As of lately, I've been seeing that clinics have been paying SLPAs for cancellations, but it's either at the minimum wage or just half the rate. Minimum wage for me is just like crazy, because sometimes, as of right now, what I'm seeing, like the pay rates for SLPAs, at least in California, it's going roughly from like 30 to 45 an hour. The most I've seen it was 50 or 55 actually. So from like 30 to 55 an hour, and then you go to school and whatnot, and you're there for work, and then someone cancels and you're only getting paid at 16 an hour, depending what your minimum wage is in your state. For us, it's 16 an hour here in California. So getting paid 16 compared to 55 is just insane, especially because you're not getting much out of it. Your pay is going to be coming out a lot more shorter. And right now, the economy is going, you need your pay. So that's the one thing that really sucks about the clinical setting, is that there's more cancellation rate, and you're not getting either very little pay or no pay at all. And while in the schools, if someone doesn't show up, you're still getting paid no matter what. So just be mindful of that your checks are just never going to be consistent because of that. Up to the SLIPA to know their rights and what they are and aren't allowed to do. As far as for me, I've been asked to do things that not really are out of my scope, but more so out of just respect for me as a person. For example, just when I felt uncomfortable in a situation, they got mad at me for leaving rather than staying and doing this session, which I think it's like, if we're doing in-homes, and in-homes, for those of you who don't know, in-homes are just doing therapy at the client's house. I feel like we should have the liberty to leave if we are in an uncomfortable situation without having to have any repercussions because of it. Because I mean, I understand it's a business and everyone needs to get paid, but if I'm feeling uncomfortable, who's going to end up losing, me or you? So it's like, I should be at the liberty to leave if I feel unsafe, especially if I'm doing clinical work at the client's environment. So yeah, you just feel more unappreciated, less support. I know I did, especially at my last clinical setting. At my last clinic, I did feel extremely unappreciated and just overlooked a lot. But hopefully that changes with me switching over to my new job, and hopefully I feel more seen and, again, appreciated, and hopefully somebody who will support me throughout the rest of my career. So the last con for clinical setting is in-homes. This could be a whole nother separate video if you guys want me to go deep. If you guys want me to go deep into in-homes and what does that entail and how I do therapy in the house and like what I use, the materials that I use to take with me, I could do a whole separate video on that. If you guys want me to, just let me know in the comments below. So what is in-homes? Like I said, it's just doing therapy inside the client's home. How this can be a bad thing, because a lot of the clinics that you're going to be applying to are going to want to do in-homes, at least here in California. I'm not quite sure how it is outside of the states, outside of this state, but at least here everybody wants you to do in-homes. I feel like that's where majority of their clients come from. It's doing those with that setting. I don't like it just because you're wasting gas, you're wasting your maintenance on your car. And you're not getting paid. You're getting paid the mileage, but you're not getting paid enough for how much you're using. So that's the one thing that kind of sucks. It's just you get tired after a while, just like getting your stuff in and out of the car and then going into people's homes, and it's so much distractions. And like I said, it could go into a whole nother video if you guys really want me to. I could get really detailed into it. I might actually make it because it sounds pretty interesting, because I wouldn't know what an in-home was if I was in my undergrad. But yeah, in-homes suck, but they also aren't that bad too. There's their pros on in-homes. Okay, so now that we've talked of the bad, let's talk about all of the good when it comes to clinical settings. So there's lots of good things. It's not just all bad. I feel like with clinical settings, you get more of a chance to kind of gain an experience. At least for me, when I initially had started applying as a new hire, it was really difficult, at least for me, to get hired directly from a school district, just because I didn't have that experience. And when you're in the schools, you're juggling multiple groups at one time, and targeting so many goals and whatnot. So for me, I think doing clinical setting is where it was a good move for me. So number one, good thing is that you get year-round work. So a lot of the times when you're applying for jobs, the jobs that are out there for the schools are mostly contracts / agencies. So you're only working the time that the students are in school, when there's summer, when there's winter, when there's holidays. A lot of the time that paid is unpaid because you're not working. There are programs where they take away your pay during the school year so that it could cover that summer year. But like I said, you're not getting paid that summer. You're just essentially just removing pay from what you were already working and just saving it. So you could just do that yourself, I guess. But that's the only other way people are getting paid during the summer, when it's through school contracts. So for the clinical settings, you're getting paid year-round because it's never ending. The only time you ever get a break is just for federal holidays. That's the only time you get time off. Other than that, you're just requesting your 2 weeks, you're requesting your PTO time. So there's never really a summer break or a winter break or anything like that. So there's just year-round work, which is a good thing, because you're getting paid all year round. You're not worried about like, oh shoot, I have 2 months and a half off, I don't know what I'm going to do for work. Well, at the clinics, you don't really have that worry. You're always getting a paycheck. Number 2 pro is that it's less stress and less take-home work. So again, comparing it to the schools, you're working afterwards, doing IEP meetings. Sometimes you're taking materials home and working on material for the students. At the clinic settings, it's literally you just go in, do the work, and sign the documents, and then you're done. Like, you don't have to ever worry about that that session ever again, unless you didn't do your documentation. Then obviously you're gonna have to worry about it. But once you submit your notes, you're done. You don't have to worry about it. And a lot of the times it's just well, actually I'll get to that. But yeah, it's less stress because you don't have to worry about taking homework, about any meetings, other than just your clinical observations with your SLP. So number 3, one-on-one sessions. So there's no group sessions. You don't have to see multiple kids at the same time. You're just dealing with that kid one-on-one, which means you're going to see more progress, which is another thing that's a bonus of being in the clinics, is that you get that one-on-one. So you're dealing with that kid individually and really targeting their goals and really honing in on like, okay, we're working on this and you're progressing in this, which means that we could do this. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, you get to see progress a lot faster than you do in the schools, and you're working with parents one-on-one as well. So you're able to see the progress faster, and you're able to include the parent with the therapy as well, which is really amazing to see when you see that the client is getting support at home inside their environment. And the last thing, the last pro about working in the clinic settings is this goes against with what I had said in my cons, but you get more support. So there's management, there's people who are scheduling things for you, your SLP, your senior SLP, your managers. So there's multiple outlets that you could go to if you're having an issue. Sometimes like slippas get taken advantage of as well in the schools. So it's either way, you're getting taken advantage of. That's the sucky part about this. It's like, whether you're in the clinic, whether you're in the schools, you're getting taken advantage of. And like I said, it's your job to understand what your rights are, and to not deal with that BS, as I have stopped wanting to take that for a really long time. But yeah, so you get more support from your SLP. Usually you get, like I said, that weekly observation. You're getting support from people outside of the SLP world, so your managers, your schedulers. So you get support from those people, and you get to talk to more people outside of that. And you get to talk to your coworkers, your other slippas and your other SLPs, and you get to have coworkers who understand like what's going on with like everything that's within that company. I think, regardless of what setting you want to go to, just kind of understand like the person that you are, and understand like what it is that will make you feel more appreciated, what it is that you're a little bit more passionate about, whether you're passionate about working with kids in a school setting, or if you're more passionate about working with kids in a clinical setting. So majority of the times those kids are pediatric kids, which I love. I love little babies, so I like working with them, even though they have their cons with the clinic setting, not the kids. The cons with the clinic setting. So I think I'm going to stay with that for a little while. But if you guys have any other questions, or if you guys want me to make a part 2 of this video, if you guys really liked it, I will come up with more cons and pros about clinic settings. Please comment down below any of your thoughts and whatnot. So I will catch you guys later. Hopefully I can make more videos about how to interview, how to prepare for interview, and whatnot. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. Mwah.